Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another exciting week of Backmarkers Racing here at the Backmarkers Racing League in the GTCC Backmarkers ARCA series for the SEGA Forever 150 at Road America. It's week 4 and things are about to get crazy for another road course. So stick around and make sure you're taking a look and seeing what we're what the top stars of this next up-and-coming group are gonna be and how good they are on these road courses. We got Bushwhackers, we got the ARCA guys. It's gonna be a madhouse. And as always, you are here on the Backmarkers Racing League YouTube channel, so if you wouldn't mind clicking the like button, throwing us a little chat. We love to interact with you throughout the race, love to see who you're rooting for, and always comment on the video if you're watching us after the fact. A little magic there as the 57 went under the tunnel and out came the 65. Amazing, right? As always, please make sure to click below the subscribe button and the bell so you're notified every time we go live on this channel for any of our wonderful races. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the GTCC ARCA series here at Backmarkers Racing Leagues for the SEGA Forever 150 at Road America. This is going to be a really amazing run here tonight. I can just feel it. Road courses are always interesting, ready to shake things up, so it's going to be... I mean, just based off the qualifying we just had, it's already shaking up to be a very interesting night. Tyler Barnett, Dustin Bawley qualifying within, I believe it was somewhere around 0.03 of a second off of each other. Very, very close. So you know, between what the Bushwhackers are going to have going on and what the ARCA regulars this season are going to have, it's definitely going to show. It's going to show what people have been made of. You know, we're going to expect to see some of the same people, those strong road racers, up towards the front. Probably a lot of the guys that we're not super familiar with, probably feeling things out. These ARCA cars can be a little bit weird, and I've heard some things about the setup, in particular from some drivers, so, you know, it's definitely going to be one we're going to have to watch all over the field for here. Want to give a big thank you to our series sponsor, GTCC, and Nathan Gentry, and also want to give a big thank you to SEGA Forever. SEGA Forever is a growing collection of classic SEGA games that are free to play for iOS and Android mobile devices. To learn more, visit forever.sega.com. That's forever.sega.com. I am Rain Braun, and tonight I'm joined alongside a assistant broadcast colleague here for the first time, I believe, Steve Loving. How's it going, Steve?
Hey, pretty good, man.
Well, obviously, you know, we have a lot of guys. Our regular broadcast partner, Tyler, is currently sitting on the pole, so it's always, you know, kind of funnels down a little ways. You know, we look for other guys. Dustin will try to fill in, but he's sitting second, so then you got to move to the next guy. And it just kind of fell, and thankfully you decided you'd come sit in and keep me a little bit company, so I don't have to run in North Wilkesboro again all by myself. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, the top five is going to be tight. All of them qualifying within a half second of each other, so expect some good things to happen on the first lap. We'll see how they can make it through the first turns of 1, 3, and 5, which are going to be tricky. If Barnett and Bawley can get through those clean, I expect a pretty good tight race.
Well, a big important factor I always like to ask the guys getting in the booth with me is, you know, most of the time I have somebody like a Tyler Barnett or a Tyler DeTalent, Dustin Bawley, Jay Bass, guys who are pretty familiar behind the wheels of these cars, and especially on these tracks, can kind of give an insight as to what it would be like driving in this race. And Steve, I mean, you notched the belt and got your first Backmarkers win in the Truck Series just 3 short weeks ago at Daytona. So I mean, you know, you're definitely a top competitor here. What's it like behind the wheel of these ARCA cars on a road course like this?
So these ARCA cars are definitely a test. They're very slick. They're fairly unforgiving. They can get very, very loose. Road America specifically is a very difficult, very technical track. So, you know, patience is key. If you get on it too hard, you're going to lose it on the back end. If you get on the brakes too late, you're going to lock it up and slide out in the corner. So it's a lot. It's going to be a long 15 laps. It's definitely a true test. There's a lot of new folks in the league that are going to be running. So hopefully everybody can keep it all in one piece and we can have a really good race.
Absolutely, and the DeTalent section already showing out in full force in our chat here. Tyler DeTalent, the number 29 here tonight, and that's Chevy. Looks like it's the 323 Design Co. And he is also a broadcast colleague of mine for the Thursday night series, the Slide Designs Backmarkers Truck Series. So he's always a fan favorite, and he's always a favorite of ours up in the booth too. He's starting back in, it looks like 20th tonight, but that really doesn't mean a whole lot because I anticipate we'll probably see some spins early, and some people are just going to kind of inherit different positions as the race goes on. Be it that they can keep it on track, I suppose. It looks like Alan Warnecki is jumped to pits right at the beginning of grid. That or he didn't come out. I can't tell based on my reading here. But that is going to put him a lap down here if he's running here tonight. So that is not a good start on a road course in general, because I mean, it's an almost irrecoverable deficit.
I don't think it will put him a lap down. I'm pretty sure he's just going to have a delay coming out of the pits. I think he's essentially giving himself a forced EOL. Be interested to know what his strategy is, but as they're coming out of turn 14, I'll turn it back over to you as they get ready to take the green.
Yes, indeed. You might be right on that. All right, as we take a long look at the field here, everybody files into their 2 lines, and this is going to be the make or break moment as we get ready to go green here. And there go our leaders, taking off roughly a pretty decent amount of time between them. Tyler rocketing out of there, Dustin keeping up a good bit. And already it's going to have to try to keep this camera as wide as possible to catch all of the action that's about to unfold in this turn. I wish we had a longer shot of this turn 1, because I just know things can get kind of hairy. So we filter back through this field. Looks like everybody took it kind of slowly, gave themselves a chance. And everybody seems to cleanly kind of make it through. Nobody's burning up their tires just yet, sending it too hard on lap 1, and that's what I like to see. And of course, we're taking a look here at our, oh, Sam Stoner getting a little bit loose there on the outside of Dustin Bally. He sends it real wide, and he's going to end up having some trouble fighting Michael Boyles there now. And Michael Boyles is going to overtake to get himself into 3rd place here, as well as he'll now be fighting Daniel Morris Jr. Daniel Morris is fighting for a championship here. He is an ARCA regular. The other members of the top 5 here, Tyler Barnett, Dustin Bally, Michael Boyles, and Sam Stoner, they are all bushwhackers from the Truck Series. So this is, and just behind Daniel, Jay Bast, also a bushwhacker, and then Jonathan Cofield, another bushwhacker. So it seems things have already kind of shaken out a little bit to show, you know, the top guys who've been racing with us for quite a while now, where they're gonna find themselves for most of this race. I don't think any of us really thought anything otherwise.
Andrew Cole just slid out in turn 8. He's coming back on course. Looks like he's damage free. Just got caught up in the sand trap.
Looks good. Yeah, he's getting back on now. I do see Alan Wernicke here. For me, it's showing him in the timer as a lap down. I can't tell until the score timer updates here. Let's take a look. And as we see, oh, Tyler got really off track there.
Tyler's off.
And there he goes. Dustin Bally is going to assume the lead from there. Tyler with a really, really wide shot ending up in that sand pit.
Loses a total of 4 spots.
As we saw, you know, we talked a little bit on Thursday. If you joined us for the Sly Designs Truck Series race on Thursday at Watkins Glen, the big dark horse for the race, a guy who I deemed kind of an underdog. He's understated for the most part, but is very, very strong on road courses, is that 05 of Michael Boyles. He lost his podium just in the last lap from Johnny Rapp getting around him. And here he is. He had a great qualifying time. He made some good moves, finds himself in 2nd here. I mean, oh, the 65 gets really sideways. Shades of what we saw the lap prior. And he's going to get passed here by Tyler Barnett.
Got an unscheduled pit from Abraham. Looks like he came in to fix some damage.
Abraham's heading off now. It looks like he had to use his fast repair. We're on board Michael Boyles now, behind that 21 of Dustin Bally. We got this pack just behind. Jonathan Cofield has found his way around Daniel Morris Jr. as well. Corey Harville, the 92, another new name. He is encroaching pretty quickly on that Mountain Dew machine, looking to ascend himself a little higher. Everybody's going to be itching and clawing, trying to get as high a position as possible here. For those unfamiliar with the way that the bushwhacking system works, just because a bushwhacker wins first does not mean the ARCA guy who finishes second gets second place points. Wow, Sam Stoner way off. He got really caught up in some grass there. Had to take it real slow to get back on track safely. But no matter what, the highest up ARCA guy, so in this case right now, Daniel Morris Jr. in 5th, he's going to receive first place points. I see somebody off track. I'm trying to determine. It's Jonathan Cofield. Jonathan Cofield went very off track. He had to sit there for a minute to be allowed back in. He finds himself back in 11th now, trying to rocket his way up. This is very interesting to me. I wasn't anticipating seeing some of these guys end up all the way back where they are. Jackson Samsel's heading down pit road. He has some damage.
All that activity in the back of the track. You have a great battle up in the front between Bali and Boyles. Gotten really, really close.
Absolutely. I anticipate this is going to be a hot one. I wouldn't be surprised if Michael ends up getting around Dustin here at some point soon. Tries to get himself some laps led on it. Oh, he just gets loose again. That's where Dustin's going to be able to overtake him and hold his position every time. We look back here, Jay Bass coming through as well. Corey Harville has made it around Daniel Morris Jr. He's made his way up into the top 5. Tyler Barnett has found his way back to 3rd. Kevin Baumler sitting in 8th. Nicholas Moffitt 9th. Dustin Buck was just passed. It looks like he got a little loose there. He was passed for 10th and now for 11th as well. He'll be finding himself back in 12th. I see a crash. Nathan Gentry and Joe Rapp, it looked like. Joe looks like he's okay. Nathan, worse for wear. A lot of damage on the front of that TED machine. And it does look like Alan Warnecki did stay on the lead lap. It's just, for some reason, my timing tower just refuses to admit that he's on the lead lap. So, just ignore all those things I said earlier. He's doing great. The 44 car trying to rocket his way up to the front, currently sitting in 15th. He's coming up on Joe Rapp as we speak here. Oh, somebody in the back there just went completely around. The 94, Christopher Pendell. He's getting back on track. Nathan Gentry trying to get out of the way. Wow. Nathan, is he going to save it? No, he can't. Just too loose. It looks like just bad communication. Christopher saw that a car was coming up behind him, tried to get to the other side of the track. Nathan was trying to move at the same time. That's why those mics are so important. This guy's got to communicate where they're going. Abraham Kalufa coming off pit road now. Michael Boyles has just overtaken Dustin Bally in this turn. And Michael Boyles has seated himself in 1st place. Dustin Bally going to settle in behind. Tyler Barnett behind them. And Jay Bast and Corey Harville. Taking a look at some of these guys in the back here as we get an opportunity to. Currently, the 07 we're on board with here, that Pepsi Star Wars machine, it appears. Joe Rapp, he is in 14th position. He is up 9 positions on the night so far. Tara Modecurdy, the 51. Oh, he had some action there. He gets out of the way. The cars behind him end up getting around. Looks like he got spun out. He's back on track now.
Barnett's climbed his way up to 3rd, and he's really pushing on Dustin's back end.
Yeah, we just tuned in just at that moment to see the way that the 67 got right up in behind the 21. This is definitely going to be a hot contest here between these vehicles, between these drivers. Who's going to have the faster car? Who's going to have the better car control? We've seen a lot out of Dustin. We know Tyler, he's the Season 1 champion of ARCA. He's definitely capable. Michael Boyle's putting about 2.5 seconds between himself and the next two cars. And it looks like Tanner Prater, with his damage, he's coming down pit road now as well. And once again, got to give huge props to the guys who are currently fighting just behind Jay Bast, 5th, 6th. Daniel Morris Jr., the 48, managing to get his way back up, keep position, and trying to keep himself as high up as possible to get them first place points. Corey Harville showing some prowess here tonight as well. As we inch back, Kevin Baumler doing great as well as Nicholas Moffitt. All trying to be pretty competitive with these guys who are running at the top here. And look at this onboard of Dustin Bally here. He is just far and away behind that 05 of Michael Boyles. Michael has really pulled away here, driving really strong. 67 practically getting sideways, sending it as hard as possible in a lot of these turns, sliding around. You know, Steve, in the long term, I mean, it's only 15 laps or so, but imagine that Tyler was running like that pretty much every lap trying to get position. Would that cause enough wear to be more of a detriment, or is it worth him trying to send it every possible place he can at this point?
Well, they're going to push it as hard as they can right now, knowing they're about to come to the pits. They're going to treat these first 5 or 6 laps like a qualifier to get the best position they possibly can. I would anticipate the second half of the race, they'll likely go a little more conservative, trying to save those rear tires. It's interesting, if you flip on Dustin's own board and go to the gearbox view, you can really see, and there he goes.
And there it is. As we were waiting for, that is our competition caution, the stage break, lap 6. That does score Dustin Bally ahead. Tyler Barnett, it looked like Dustin really backed off there as he came around it. It was just slowing down pretty early. But more on what you said there. I mean, I definitely see where that would be an ideal position, an ideal decision to try to make. However, some of these guys who were sitting in the back, guys like Jackson Sampson, who had to pit early due to some damage, get some damage repaired. Maybe they went ahead and grabbed tires if they just had to before the pit road was closed. Do you think any of those guys have an opportunity here to make up some good ground?
A few of them will probably stay out who had to pit with damage and get in front of the leaders, so it'll really cause for an interesting restart. But I would assume the lead pack will probably get around them in pretty short order, but that will definitely give them an advantage over the rest of the field. That'll have to really work for it. So it'll be interesting. But yeah, these drivers are going to definitely want to push the first 5 or 6 laps as a qualifier to get the best position they could on track, and then when they come back out for the rest of this race, you're going to see them try to save it just a little bit and push when it gets about 3 to 4 to go.
Well, hopefully that restart will not be as exciting or interesting as Thursday night's restart was, and it goes a little bit smoother there. As we take a look here at our top 10, the way it shook out before the stage break caution: Michael Boyles, Dustin Bally, Tyler Barnett, Jay Bast, Daniel Morris Jr., Corey Harville, Sam Stoner, Kevin Baumler, Jonathan Cofield, and Nicholas Moffitt rounding out your top 10. And to all the fans in the talent section, Tyler DeTalent, the number 29, our biggest mover of the night, up 12 positions into 12th. We'll have to see if he can keep climbing and hold that big mover status. And it looks like Jay Bast is down pit road. Now, is there any particular reason why anybody wouldn't pit here right now as they're going by?
I believe the pits are still closed. The when the caution flew out, it's when the leader crossed the start finish, so they have to come all the way back around before the pace car comes back out on the track. So they're going to link up behind the car. They're going to do a full lap all the way around. So they'll actually be going in the box on lap 7.
Interesting. As we take a moment here, just kind of take things in and enjoy the view while we wait for the strategy to kind of shake out. It's going to be a long drive around to that start finish again, and another long drive around before it goes green. I want to give a big thank you again to the sponsor of this race for the SEGA Forever 150 here at Road America. SEGA Forever is a growing collection of classic SEGA games that are free to play for iOS and Android mobile devices. To learn more, visit forever.sega.com. That's forever.sega.com. And from what I've seen currently in my my incident report, there have been a couple of guys who have gotten... Oh, Jay Bass now. Well, that's not good. Unsure what happened here. I was about to say, I've seen a couple of guys having accidents coming out.
Yeah, so what happened with Bast was when the pit lane was closed, he came down and went ahead and pit. So it's giving him an EOL, so he's letting everyone go by.
I see. About to say, I got a crash report. Didn't really look like he crashed. Looked like he just kind of pulled off. So, I guess that's exactly what he did. Well, this is definitely going to be, I mean, will that EOL stick through to the green, or is that an EOL for only just currently? I'm not really sure how that shakes out.
It'll stay until it goes green.
I figured it would be the case. So that was definitely more to his detriment than to have had to come in then. I'd hoped that he really felt like he had to at that point for some reason, or whether he wasn't sure if he'd make it on fuel. But, I mean, Jay has shown time and time again that he can cut through a field, so we said it'll be interesting already. It'll be interesting to see how he manages to divert through this crowd, especially with the guys who are having a little bit of trouble kind of sitting in the back here tonight. You know, maybe their first time really running a road course in these cars, definitely first time in this league for some of these guys, just kind of getting a feel for things. As we're coming around now to pits. Whoa! And there goes Michael Boyles, Dustin Bally, and Tyler Barnett. The fake out, they're staying.
Wow, I did not see that coming.
I'm a little off guard here. This was definitely not expected. Corey Harville, Jonathan Cofield, Alan Wernicke, Joe Rapp, Derek Moore, Christopher Pendell, all heading down pit road. Are they going to be able to make it these last laps? I mean, they must feel pretty confident to have pulled out here. Abraham Kalufa getting his lap back here. He's about to head around. This will put everybody back on the lead lap. You know, I say it often, it would always be very interesting to be a fly on the wall sometimes in some of these cruise chatters, just to kind of hear what they're thinking. I mean, we think about it with payday guys, off-the-wall guys, with the Evil Empire guys, just wanting to know what the strategy is, what the decision is, why they're doing what they're doing in a race. Because sometimes it's so insanely big-brained that you can't possibly determine, you know, was this accident? Was this on purpose? Was this just some really big strategy call? And some of these times it's worked out really favorably for a lot of guys. So Again, really, really interested to know what this is, how this shakes out for these guys. Michael
Yeah,
Boyles falls back to about 13th. Go on.
these next several laps are going to be fascinating. You got Boyles, you got Cofield, you got Bass. Those three are running the top 5 fastest laps of the race, so they're going to have a lot of work ahead of them, a lot of traffic, and a lot of challenges. So I expect to see some bumping and bruising.
Well, it wouldn't be a good old night of Tuesday night ARCA racing, the GTCC Backmarkers ARCA series here on the Backmarkers Racing League YouTube channel, without a little bit of bumping and bruising each other. That's what everybody
If we
tunes
have
in to see.
time, what are your thoughts on pulling Boyles into the booth and asking what his thoughts are about his pit?
Absolutely, let's get him on board. Great idea. See, normally I'm not the interview guy, so it's always real nice to have some assistance here. Hey, Michael, it's Rain and Steve up in the booth. You got us, man?
Yeah, I got you. What's up?
Well, Steve, pretty sure you probably formulate these questions a little better than I could.
Yeah, so we saw you running a great race. You're running the lead. You go into the pits. The other leaders stay out. Now you come back out. You're sitting at 13th. What are your thoughts? Well, where's your strategy and what are you thinking?
Well, I thought this was going to be the strategy, was to push a little bit and then pit, but the pace laps were a little bit longer than I anticipated, and nobody went in. Like maybe 3 or 4 people went in. So, but I mean, if I might have enough laps to try and get back up there, but I just gotta stay out of trouble. But it's been a fun race so far. It's just, yeah, maybe I didn't make the right decision, but hey, you missed some, so it's all good.
Well, you got a good field in front of you. You got some of the guys behind you. So I think as long as you stay focused and you drive it clean and do the same thing you did in first half of the race on the second half, I think you'll do great. So wish you the best of luck.
Well, yes, sir. Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, as we take a look here, my radio will cooperate and let me get you back there.
Thank you, sir.
There we
Good
go.
to see y'all.
It would absolutely not let me get him back in there for some reason, but yeah, so I mean, I guess hearing it from him as well, it appears that I mean, there must be pretty good confidence that these guys can make it to the end of the race without a stop. I mean, I'm very surprised by it. I mean, I don't question Dustin or Tyler in their decision making. This is I mean, they clearly know what they're doing. They've shown their skill, their prowess. I mean, Tyler is the record holder for most wins in Backmarkers Racing League. Dustin's got 2 wins in his career so far here with us. But I mean, the interesting thing is the guys who decided to shake it out and stick with them. Daniel Morris Jr. in the 48, currently the leading ARCA full-timer. Sam Stoner as well, Kevin Baumler, Nicholas Moffitt, Tyler DeTalent, Dustin Buck. Looks like all of these guys ended up sticking it out and not going in for the pit there. And they're going to get a pretty optimal starting position up ahead of here in this pack. So, yeah, I definitely think it's going to be interesting in terms of the fight for position coming out of this.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be an interesting restart. Dustin and Tyler running about 2 seconds faster lap than the immediate 8 to 10 cars behind them, so I expect them to pull away pretty fast. Wouldn't be surprised if the guys in P3, P4 try to really push it into turn 1 to turn 3 to get a run or get a jump on the leaders. They may potentially lock it up and slide a little bit. Hopefully that doesn't happen, but the real action is going to be back around 12th and 13th where Boyles is. He's going to be eager to get around these guys and try to get back up the front to give it a shot for the win.
Yeah, absolutely, Aaron. I mean, I'm really impressed by a number of these top running ARCA guys who have filtered their way up into the field and have just run a pretty clean, pretty nice race with some minor mistakes here and there. But save for Bushwhackers being here, guys like Daniel Morris Jr., Nicholas Moffitt, Kevin Baumler, they've been kind of running away with it from this field. So I mean, it's very, very impressive out of these guys. We've seen a lot of what they're capable of in these first couple weeks of races. As a matter of fact, we had our winner last week was an ARCA winner. I'm blanking. I was not able to broadcast the race last week. Jay Bass filled in. But want to say... Honestly, I can't remember. Oh, I feel very, very bad. It was a very fun race, though. Everybody should definitely go back and watch the race from last week. I was watching it myself while I couldn't be broadcasting, and it was really incredible to see how things shook out by the end. But I mean, as far as everything here is going, these bushwhackers, they've come in. They've done exactly what you'd expect guys who want to come back and run a road course to do, and that's be really good on the road course. Only one reason why you'd want to come back and run a certain track for your bushwhack race. And for some of these guys, this will be the last one, the last we'll see of them in ARCA for the season. For others, we will see them again, running it back. We should have Tyler Barnett pretty regularly back in the booth here on Tuesday nights, though, very soon. He just had to get his fill of that ARCA car back in. He hasn't really had a chance to run it since Season 1. And the pace car dives off onto pit road. And we're gonna get ready to watch this restart and see how this goes down. Here it comes, the green. And Dustin Bawley heading out, taking off. Looked like Tyler Barnett was just back behind him a little ways. Daniel Morris Jr. really sending... Oh! Very, very tight by Tyler there up on the 48. Daniel Morris Jr. already trying to put a good fight in. A 65 of Sam Stoner catching up real quickly here. And Tyler Barnett looking to pass Dustin Bawley here now. He's going to. The 48 looking to get the pass as well. He'll also complete this pass. The 48 is definitely... I mean, who isn't trying to win this race? But he is really all in on trying to not just finish top of the ARCA leaderboard here. He's trying to finish top of the entire leaderboard and etch his name into the illustrious group that is ARCA Backmarkers series winners in general. It's a pretty short list at this point, so everybody who throws their name in there early is making their part in history.
Mid-pack, you got Boyles and Cofield. They both have gone about +5 positions. A little bit of some close 3-wide action. It's been really, really good back here.
Yes, indeed. See a little smoke on some braking there. Jackson Samsel finds his way up into 8th here. He's up 13 positions on the night. Tyler DeTalent's behind Michael Boyles. He's also up 13 positions. Take a look back a little further. Jay Bast is cutting his way up through the field. He gets around the 07 of Joe Rapp, and he's closing in on the 6 of Dave Grajewski. Whoa! Dade gets a little loose there, and Jay's able to dive out and around him. Tanner Prater also looking to get around that 07 here as well. He's been having a pretty okay night. He's slowly climbed his way back up, and looks like he got cycled to the back as well on that last set, so he's going to be looking to slice and dice his way, get back up there. Corey Harville making some big money moves, getting around Taryn and Alan Wernecki. He's closing in on Tyler DeTalent here. Sam Stoner, he's gone off track. And he has fallen almost, nope, he is now all the way to the back of the pack. Well, just ahead of Andrew Cole. Cow. That's my bad, Andrew. I will need to get with you after this on that. And Tyler Barnett pulling away with that lead right now. Dustin Bawley in second. Daniel Morris Jr. holding down third.
We saw Boyles go into turn 1 outside past Cofield and pinned him against Samsel and took 2 spots at the same time.
Very impressive. Look at him here. As he does it again, he's really holding into that line. Not letting anybody inside. He's going to take another 2 positions here as he gets around Kevin Baumler. Look at the 57 of Jackson Samsel.
4th and 5th, respectively.
Jackson's been pretty much kind of keeping to himself most of this race. He is up 14 positions tonight with just good pit cycling and really good running so far as this race is restarted. Really impressive stuff out of that 57 machine. Jay Bass coming up on the 51 and the 44. Looking to pass through them. Nicholas Moffitt here trying to... Oh, the 92! Corey Harville gets really loose. He manages to save it. Doesn't spin it entirely. And he's going to go ahead and try to get back in the fight for things here. Michael Boyles has ascended his way up to 4th. He is now hunting down that 48 of Daniel Morris Jr. I imagine he's looking to reclaim that podium that he was not able to achieve last week in the truck race at Watkins Glen.
For reference, that last lap, Boyles turned the fastest lap of the entire field, so he's definitely on a mission.
That's impressive, especially at this point. It definitely, I imagine, having those fresher tires, I imagine he took, and probably gives him a lot more confidence to be able to throw at places here.
Bass in 13th. He's looking at picking up 10th here. He may get a 3-for-1 special.
And this is what's so impressive to watch. Here you see he dives in behind the 44, and now he's going to run alongside him. And he's going to have that inside line come the turn. It's likely going to give him the position pretty handily. And he's going to come up just behind the 29 of Tyler DeTalent here. There he goes, clearing. And now he's looking to get Dustin Buck in that 68. Dustin's still dealing with some damage from getting caught up in some stuff here tonight. Oh, he blinks. There goes Jay now. We're on board. Look at the way the 53 just cuts right past him. That is a lot of confidence. Corey Harville has gone off track again. Looks like he wasn't able to save it this time. He spun around, having to wait for the field to come around him. This one's going to hurt him. There he goes. Spins it back on. He's going to try to get back.
The talent got loose, and Bass was able to squeeze by.
Abraham Kalufa sends it a little too hard in that turn back there as well. He manages to save it. The 92 in the grass again. He's just not able to hold on to it. Corey Harville here. This is heartbreaking. He's had a really good night so far. He was pretty much in that top 10's position for most of the night. Just having trouble keeping hold of it right now. Michael Boyles, we joined back in on him. He gets a little too much of the grass and really slides around there. It's impressive to watch his tenacity, how bad he wants this, how bad he wants to claw his way up. Driving like a man possessed here. Tyler DeTalent losing some position back as well. Falling behind Tanner Prater, Chris Pendell, Sam Stoner. It looks like he went off track. He's gonna have his work cut out for him making up that position. He's now down to 17th. Currently our biggest mover of the race, the 57, Jackson Samsel, moved his way into a top 5 here. He's up 16 positions on the night.
Yeah, Jackson's had a fantastic run, definitely. Starting 21st and moving himself up to the top 5. That's pretty incredible.
And once again, really, really phenomenal performance here by Daniel Morris Jr. I mean, we talk a lot about these bushwhackers because of how they're doing, but I mean, he's showing that he's got top quality here in the ARCA League to be a top competitor. He's pretty much held down a top 5 or at least a top 3 position for most of this race. And there's a good chance Michael Boyles is probably going to catch him here. He's just a lot fresher, as Daniel Morris did not go in. So, I mean, he's definitely going to have a good fight on his hands here as that 05 is approaching him now. But
and checking in back on the leaders, looking at Dustin and watching his time, you can definitely see he's starting to push these corners. He's sliding the rear out in the car, trying to do everything he has to catch up to Tyler. But watching relative, he is gaining just a little bit. And about the last half to 3/4 of a lap, he's been able to trim a half second. So he's within a second. He's the the P1 is definitely within reach, so got a couple laps to close it out.
That Ford is trying real hard to gain up on that Chevy and get ahead here. If there's one guy who doesn't want to give Tyler Barnett another win, it is Dustin Bally, I'm sure. As we look here again, it's just the Jaws music. Got to be playing behind the 48 right now. Michael Boyles.
Oh, Tyler makes a mistake.
Tyler, yeah, I heard that. And just like that, an overtake, Dustin Bally's going to get after it. And now he's just got to maintain that distance. Tyler sent it a little too hard. It looked like lost it a bit. Ends up in the sand, has to recover out. He does a good job getting back. He's going to hang on to second here, but Dustin Bally is running away with it now as we come to 2 to go as he crosses the line here.
Now as the tables reverse, you have Dustin ahead by a second and a half. Curious to know if Tyler has anything for him.
Michael Boyles crosses the line here in third. He has passed Daniel Morris Jr. Jackson Samsel. This is how big the gap is, ladies and gentlemen. Those top 4 have already moved their way across the line. Jackson Samsel is only just now approaching, and who's that just behind him? Why, it's the Round Here Entertainment car, the 53 of Jay Bast. He has really cut his way back through this field. We said it was possible. It was just going to be about who he could avoid getting behind, and he's done it. '88 of Kevin Baumler, having a pretty good night here. He had a couple of mishaps here and there, but right now he's got some daylight behind him as Taryn and Tanner. He can just kind of try to take it as consistently and as safe as he can getting around these things for these next 2 laps. He's pretty much going to secure himself a top 10. Michael Boyles is really putting the heat here. Now he's trying to get... Oh! And he might, just with that, Tyler Barnett. Tyler catches a little bit too much of the grass, and it gets him too loose. Gonna have to pay attention to the relative and see how it changes there. But Michael Boyles is now looking to get himself not just P3, but P2 as well.
Yeah, Tyler was starting to gain. He dropped a couple tenths off that gap and then clipped the grass and then went back to where he was. So it's going to be difficult at this point. He's probably banking on a very perfect lap, and he's just looking ahead and hoping to see some dirt come off of Dustin's car.
51 Terramoted Curdy has another bit of issue there. Ends up off track just a bit. Gets back on. He's passed by Christopher Pendell in the 94 and the 14 of Tanner Prater. Jay Bass is passing. Yes, he is. Same. Great Mike and Single Link, I think, there. Jay Bass is... Oh, but Jackson shuts the door on him. And that sent Jay out. He ended up in a very unoptimal position there. Caught a little bit of the grass. He's now going to have to make up some ground to get back there, while also dealing with a hard-charging 88 of Kevin Ballmer on his rear. And here we are. The white flag has come out. It's Dustin Bally passes. Tyler Barnett, you can imagine, is going to try to give it everything he's got to get back up there before the end of this race.
Tyler has dropped off 3 tenths.
I mean, if Tyler still runs a pretty consistent lap, do you think that Michael Boyles, with the way he's charging, and especially seeing what he's making up on relative, do you think he has a chance of passing him still on this final lap?
No, and if anybody in the top 3 catches each other, catching them is one thing, but getting around them is going to be very, very difficult. And if Tyler catches Dustin, they get side by side. That's going to be the best case scenario for Boyles.
Now that we saw that last season, Watkins Glen, Dustin and Jacob Bradley ended up side by side in the final lap, coming out to the final turn. They both collide, and Jay Bass was sitting in the catbird seat in 3rd place. So we're on looking at Jay Bass now, really trying to look to get around Jackson, but Jackson is just not letting it happen. But Jay Bass ends up winning his first race last season at Watkins Glen. Oh, catches a little bit too much of the grass there himself. Spins it. He's got to try not to get a little too worked up, too annoyed here. Trying to get around Jackson.
These are 2 drivers that are desperate to grab themselves a P5. They do not want to lose it. It's within their sights. They only have a few turns left on this track. Bass has worked his way all the way up through the field. He wants it. And you see Jackson, he's doing everything possible to make that car at least 4 cars wide and blocking the whole track.
It's incredibly impressive, especially with how clean the block is. It's nothing too aggressive. It's not really putting Jay. It's more just putting him in uncomfortable places, not giving him the opportunity to get an optimal line for a pass. Very impressive stuff. And just like
You have
that,
Boyles.
there it
Boyles
is.
caught up
They're
to,
side by
Tyler.
side. And Jay has slid around, and he's gotten around Jackson after a hard-fought battle there. Jackson looks like he's going to try to charge it in as well. Oh, Jay gets very sideways, but he's able to get a good run off the turn. And here comes the checkered flag. Dustin Bally is going to take the win here at the SEGA Forever 150, followed by Tyler Barnett and a very close Michael Boyles just behind him. Daniel Morris Jr. with a very phenomenal win for himself here in the points, that is, in 4th place. And here we come with Jay Bast. That fight was just so incredible. Didn't realize they were coming to the flag so fast up there, but we managed to catch them just in time. Jay Bast takes P5. Jackson Samsel, big mover of the race, up 15 positions, gonna finish 6th. Gavin Ballmer 7th, Christopher Pendell 8th, Sam Stoner 9th, Taryn Mode Curdy 10th. As he crosses now, here comes Dustin Buck. Tanner Prater looking to try to get another position, and he's just short. Alan Warnecki, here comes Derek Moore, followed by Nicholas Moffitt and Corey Harville. Tyler DeTalent, he's had some issues here. His car has definitely seen better days. Looks like he got a little bit tangled with somebody. Not exactly sure who, but here he comes now. And always in our hearts, Tyler DeTalent is in the 17th position. Clifton Simmons and Anthony Cangelosi, teammates here, going to finish behind each other, back to back. 18th and 19th here coming to the line. That 69 car has a lot of damage on it. It's pretty incredible Anthony managed to finish the way he has at this point with that much damage. Here comes Joe Rapp heading across the line. Dade Grajewski. And we're going to see Nathan Gentry, Jonathan Cofield, Abraham Kalufa, and Andrew Cowell, DNFs. And there's your winner. And 2 teammates there in Off the Wall Racing, Dustin Bally and Jay Bass, throwing down some celebrations. I mean, that was really impressive. Dustin really fortunate that Tyler ended up having that slip when he did. It's very possible he could have caught him, but it definitely made everything a lot easier on him. Let's take a look here. Go ahead and grab our podium here, starting with the 05 of Michael Boyles in 3rd place, while our leader still stays out on track and celebrates. Let's get him. Hey, Michael, it's Rain and Steve up in the booth. You got us, man?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yes, sir.
Well, I think this is easy to say at least. Watkins avenged.
Oh, yeah. Honestly, I don't know which strategy was better, to be honest. Like, I thought what I was going to do was honestly not going to work at all. But thank the Lord, we got through the field, and I tried to catch up to them, but it was just too late, and they were just faster. But it's all good. You know, it was a fun run.
Well, I mean, you really diced your way up through that pack, and you really chased down a number of these drivers here, especially Daniel Morris Jr. at the end. Daniel Morris Jr. had a really phenomenal night. What was it like in that battle as you were kind of encroaching on him for the better half of those last couple laps?
Well, I was just trying to push as much as I could. I was just trying to push as much as I can, and then at the end I tried to get Tyler, but wait, hold on, let me go to Morris's battle real quick. Oh yeah. Yeah, I appreciate Morris. He let me by there at the end, and he tried to, he kind of helped me try to get up there, and I appreciate that. I tried everything. It was fun though.
Absolutely. Well, P3 is definitely nice getting yourself on the podium. Is this your first time on a podium?
I don't know. Probably in ARCA, I would say so.
Yeah,
because I don't remember getting it last year.
Well, this is a pretty impressive run by you. I mean, I don't see, I mean, obviously those the pit. Do you think the pit ended up helping you to make your way back up to where you did in the long run there? Well,
I would say yes and no, because no one pitted, or a few did, but at the first part of the race, I was pushing because I was like, I know I'm gonna pit. You know, I'm sure there's gonna be more people pitting, hopefully, and that was what I was thinking. And you know, I can't really judge which one would be better because you know Dustin and Tyler are really fast, and I don't know, they would have better tires than me on the restart, and you know, it worked out in the end. So I don't know which one was better, but it was a lot easier to drive through the field with some fresh Goodyears, but or whatever we have General tires.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Yeah, yeah,
General
not Goodyear.
Tire.
Yeah, but it definitely, you know, either way, it was a lot of fun.
Absolutely, man. Well, I mean, this is a great night for you. Anybody you want to thank before we let you get back with your team here?
Yeah, well, you know, first, my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, and you know, like I said last night, my parents, you know, they've blessed me with this, and you know, Impact. Abraham unfortunately had a bad night, but you know, he's trying to work. He's trying to, you know, I think he was in second in points before tonight, and he was doing it. He was, you know, he's been doing a good. He's been doing a good job this season, and I'm just glad we got these people on our team now, and it's a lot of fun, like I said, and I just appreciate all of them, and yeah.
Awesome, man. Well, congrats. I'm just gonna drag you up somewhere with
Oh, yeah. And also, I appreciate y'all too. Thank y'all for the broadcast. They're always fun to watch, and it's good to have y'all announce.
Absolutely, man. It was a pleasure doing this one. So congratulations. Go enjoy that podium, and look forward to seeing what you're gonna do on Thursday, man.
Sir, thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
All right, let's go ahead and see about grabbing Tyler Barnett here from where he's hiding.
All right.
Well, I would like to, but it looks like he has done me the disservice of leaving our chats. Tyler, you know better, my man. He has left the arena.
All right. Let's go ahead and grab our race winner.
Let's go ahead and get Dustin Bally down here. Here he comes. Hey, Dustin, it's Rain and Steve up in the booth. You got us, man.
I do. How are you guys doing tonight?
Well, in an unbiased fashion, pretty good. In a very biased fashion, very good. No, man, that was really incredible work you were doing all night. I mean, it's just bound to be the case. You're going to be a top 3 competitor on a road course. We've known that to be the case in general here. And as you were coming up and you were passed by Tyler on that restart, I mean, what happened there? Was that just not able to keep it, or just?
No, so I actually gave the position up. Tyler was kind of playing race control on the radio leading up to it, and he was like, okay, you got to go you can go as soon as the pace car goes in, and then you have to cross some threshold or whatever with the cones or whatever, right? And I thought I had passed it, but then he said, oh, no, you didn't. And so I said, well, in order to remove any and all doubt, I'm going to let you two by, and then I will just, you know, make the time up later. So I let them two by, and then just kind of did my thing, and the race came to us.
Absolutely.
So when the pits closed, question, was surprised to see the leader, Boyles, went in, and you, Tyler, and several others stayed out. What were you thinking for as far as strategy?
So because you had the option to like pit before the caution, right? Like we did at Watkins, but that was 3 green flag laps. So that just seemed pointless to me. So I actually took it really, really easy for the first stint. And Michael got past me, and I just let him go because I was trying to drive it at like 4/10 or whatever, right? Just trying to do enough to keep the guys behind me, but not scrub the tires off. So by the time we got to the caution, I was like, do I really want to pit? Because if I do, I'm going to lose a bunch of track position, and then it's going to basically negate all the work that I did to save the tires in the first stint. So I just made the call. I said, I'm just going to stay out and see what happens. And I think it ended up being the right one. I think the first, 10 cars, I think, had not pitted. So if we had pitted, we would have ended up in 11th. And I think that would have been really hard to make up. Obviously, Boyles, finished 2 seconds behind me at the end. So maybe it wasn't the worst call, but
Well, the call definitely worked out, and you and Tyler, Boyle, several others ran an incredible race. But you got to say, at some point you're running second. I think you're about a second and a half behind Tyler. And at some point he, I don't know what turn it was, but he gets off and clips the dirt a little bit. As soon as you saw him get sideways, and you saw that P1 position right in front of you. What were you thinking?
I was thrilled, and that actually happened in the first stint too. I mean, I think he went off on the last corner during the first stint, and that's how I was able to get around him. I think that was on lap 2 or 3 or something like that. And then I can't remember if it was the corner after Canada corner or what. I think that was it. I'll have to go back and watch the replay, but yeah, just tried to not hit him and was able to maintain that gap all the way to the end. But that's kind of what my strategy on these road courses. You know, you kind of saw it with Boyles. If someone's faster than me, I just let them go. You know, I kind of put it on myself too. If I'm not fast enough, it's you know, I'm not going to impede anyone's progress. And then when I get behind, it's up to me to maintain pace and put pressure on the guys in front, and drive, you know, aggressively enough that I'm not going slow, but you know, conservatively enough that I'm not going to run off, right? Like I was never in any. I think there was maybe one point in the last corner or on the last lap where I got a little squirrely, but other than that, I mean, I had the thing totally under control. I was not pushing it whatsoever, just trying to run a clean race and keep it on the asphalt. And so that ended up working out. But I
That's
think
definitely definitely
another
the right
lap.
strategy, the run, and it got you a seat on the top of the podium. So with that said, congratulations. Do you have anyone you want to thank?
Well, first of all, I'd like to thank my awesome team owner and teammate mates at Off the Wall Racing, Steve Loving, Jay Bass, Brady Powers, owner Rain Braun. I want to thank everyone who tunes into the broadcast that supports me, parents Tom and Deb, my cousin Alex, my wife Rebecca, my mother-in-law if she's watching, and any of my friends who I sent the link to. I hope it was a good show. I want to thank SEGA, who sponsors both my car and sponsored this race. I want to thank Sly Designs for everything they do for the league. And then thank obviously Rain, who's to me always the MVP of the league with the broadcasts and the commentary. It's not the same without him. But yeah, I'm thrilled about this. It's finally good to get a road course win. It's not, you know, the one I wanted. I wanted last week, and that one still stings. But this definitely eases the pain a little bit, and it's good to get that check box marked. Yeah, get the box checked.
Oh, that's awesome, man. Well, that's 3 wins on your record so far, and all 3 of those have been in ARCA. So, big congrats to you. Gonna let you go back and celebrate with your team there. And I'm sure we'll catch up a little bit later, but you know, take this one in, and you know, look forward to seeing what you're gonna do on Thursday as well.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right, and just for the sake of it, gonna go ahead and pull in Daniel Morris Jr. here, catch up with him. He's had a fantastic night. He's the highest points finisher of the league here for tonight. So, Daniel, you got us?
Yeah, man, I got you.
There we go. Hey, man. Well, check it out. I mean, you had a really hard fought night all night. You were pretty much in the top 5 consistently the entire time. Really clean race. I mean, you were running up there with some of the best here, man. I mean, these are the truck guys all flying around you trying to run and win this race. And at the end of it, you're coming out of it with first place points for the ARCA season. How's that feeling?
Yeah, man, it feels good. I'm just as shocked as you are. There towards the end, I was just hanging on. Yeah, shout out to Michael for making a clean pass there at the end. Yeah, I wasn't trying to hold him off or anything, just trying to finish my race.
No, he actually gave you big props for letting him by a little easier. So, yeah, no, definitely. I mean, as he said, we were watching it pretty much throughout the night, remarking about how well you were running. There were some other guys who are ARCA regulars running for points here tonight that were running pretty good. How did you feel the race was going? How did you feel the guys around you were? How was it racing them?
I felt it was a pretty clean race overall, as far as what I could see anyway. The guys around me were all running really clean.
Absolutely, man. Well, I mean, are road courses particularly your kind of race? Is this what you generally live for?
Not really. To be honest
Wow.
with you, this is the first time I've ever run this track. I bought it for this race.
Well, that's actually very that makes this all the more impressive considering how dominant of a run you were having, man.
Yeah, I'm really glad, to finish well here. I feel like I've had bits and pieces of the puzzle and just haven't been able to put it all together. and making mistakes here and there and everything. So yeah, I'm really glad just to have a good, clean finish.
And are you currently a free agent at this point, or who are you running with?
Yes, sir. I am a free agent currently.
Well, I can't see that staying the same for very long. I imagine the team's going to try to swoop you up here any minute now and get you on board running with them after this performance. It's definitely shown. We've seen you throughout the past couple races, kind of getting the hang of things, learning who you're running around. That's the big issue with a new league and getting in and seeing how people drive around you. And you've definitely shown that you're more than capable of getting the job done here. So congrats on getting all the way up there to P4 and getting those first place points for the night. Anybody you want to thank before we let you get out of here?
Yeah, man, I'd just like to thank you guys, the sponsors, M99 Graphics, Around Here Entertainment, all the supporting sponsors and everything for putting these races on for us guys. It's a lot of fun. I enjoy it.
All right, well, thanks very much, man. Go celebrate that, and I hope you're looking forward to your off week coming up and Chicagoland the week after.
Yeah, man, looking forward to it.
All right, and one more person I want to talk to, we make a good point of doing it, is our biggest mover of the night. I think he deserves it. We're going to go ahead and steal Jackson Samsel away from whatever he's doing with all those guys up there, and go ahead and grab Jackson here. Hey, Jackson, it's Rain and Steve in the booth. You got us?
Yeah.
Well, I think you know what we're going to say here.
Yeah.
Yeah? You were
You
the
had a
big
great-
mover.
So Jackson, you had
I
a great
was.
run starting 21st, moving up 16 spots, or 15 spots that is, and finishing 6th. So what are your thoughts? How was that race for you?
That comp caution really helped me because my teammate spun in front of me on lap 1, and I just had to pit early. Marched my way up to 9th or whatever, and I knew how to take. I had Michael kind of talking in my ear where to be quick, where I wasn't being quick when he was behind me for about a lap, and I could say that my pace went up by about a second after he gave me those tips, and I was able to hunt down people, force people into mistakes, just continue moving and moving until Jay got to me.
Yeah, you were knocking the door sitting on a P5, and have to admit, you and Bass put on quite the show. So what were you thinking when you're running side by side with them and you guys are nose to tail? You were finding a way to make that car as wide as you could to block them up, but you guys put on a great show, great run. It was incredible to watch. What was it like in the car?
It was scary in the car because I was moving all over the track because I knew where he was quicker, and when he was quicker, I mean he was quicker, and I just had to be super defensive. He finally got past me, and I tried to dive bomb him, and he did exactly what I had been doing to him before. And I hope you guys saw the total of that battle because me and Jay both agree that that's probably the most fun we've had on this game in a really long time.
Oh, we were watching it intently.
I appreciate that because I need to go back and watch that. That was some of the most fun I've had. I was throwing blocks. I made that car as wide as it could go. Thankfully, this track is pretty narrow in some spots, but he was just quicker. And if I wouldn't have gone off in the final, I don't know if you saw me go off in the final corner coming to 2 to go, but that's where he caught up to me, and I had to defend after that.
Yeah, you both did a great job. Each other gave a lot of room. With all the blocks, you still weren't reckoning each other. So it was definitely an example for the entire series to watch. So yeah, it was an incredible show. Definitely, anyone watching the broadcast, I'm sure had a blast. We certainly did here up at the booth watching you and Bast put on the contest to see who could come out ahead. But fortunately, great job to Bast. He was able to pull up P5, and you had to slide back to 6. But nonetheless, it was an awesome run.
Yeah, I appreciate that, guys.
All right, is there anybody you want to thank before we let you get out of here? Go back to doing whatever it is you guys are doing up there.
We have all these great partners in the league. I know GTCC's the sponsor of the league, and I don't know who. I know Dustin's sponsoring the race, so I want to thank him for chipping in his money to help us sponsor this race in particular. I don't know what he sponsored it with exactly, but we have some awesome partners. I've named them off in the past. They know who they are. They help us out all the time. All the admins too. They do a great job. So and all the drivers, they keep this thing going. So that's who I need to thank. Yeah.
Awesome, man. Well, we're gonna let you get back. Celebrate this night. You were up 15 positions on the evening, man. So go celebrate and enjoy your night, man.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys.
All right, so just a moment here to recap this race. I mean, we see how this played out, but of course, we got to know what is the point situation coming out of this. It looks like with the updated points here, factoring in our drop race, our current points leader is Christopher Pendell with 118 points. Just behind him is Alan Warnecki in second, Kevin Baumler in third, Abraham Kalufa in fourth, and Austin Holbrook in fifth. Then you got Tyler DeTalent, Daniel Morris Jr., Taryn Modecurdy, Nicholas Moffitt, and Joe Rapp. Those are your top 10 in points currently so far. And as the team points stand, Evil Empire Simsport running away with a little bit here with 359 points overall, followed by Vintage Racing, and then Impact Racing, Off the Wall Racing, and Dumpster Fire Racing. And those are the current point standings for the season. It's shaken out. We're only on week 4, but already we've seen a number of changes take over here. And it has been a wild ride. This race was absolutely phenomenal. I don't know about you, Steve, but I really enjoyed this one.
Yeah, it was a great run. You know, these road courses sometimes are a little bit of a challenge to get some excitement, but there was definitely a lot of great battles on the track and a lot of great driving. So this was an awesome show. I think next week, as the series moves to Chicagoland, we should see a great continuation, some tight nose to tail. Curious to see what lines they run there and what kind of a show they can put on.
Absolutely. Well, want to give a big thank you to the guys we saw chatting it up out there. The talent section, always giving their love for the 29, and as well as the Boyle section, giving some love to Michael Boyles out here tonight. Also shows up on Thursday to cheer on Adam and Michael. Joe Rapp chiming in, just jumping in to talk to everybody after his race. Hey man, you had an all right run, and everybody has a rough day. It's a road course. It happens, my man. And as for John DeTalent in the DeTalent section, asking to get an interview from Tyler DeTalent, the number 29. Hey, you want to hear him in the broadcast booth? We can do that for you. This Thursday at the Sly Designs Truck Series race coming up, you're just going to have to tune in. You can hear him talk all you want. That's right. We are going to be at Dover Motor Speedway for the Brobst Enterprises 200. It's going to be 200 laps, and it's going to be in the afternoon, and you are not going to want to miss any of the action. So make sure to tune in. As I said, I'll be alongside Tyler DeTalent for that race, as always, and it's going to be another fantastic one as we see how this truck series is shaping up. As well, don't forget, we are not an ARCA and truck series only league here. You like late models? You like street stocks? Well, we're doing some crazy stuff on Mondays, man. Come tune in on Mondays. Hear Jay Bast broadcasting alongside generally Brady Powers, and what they do with the rescreened LLC Regional Late Model Tour, as well as the street stock races that come just after that. And as well, the upcoming new Wednesday night series. Don't really have a lot of details on that yet, but we will fire those out as we get them. Make sure to check our socials. You can go find our Facebook page, facebook.com/Backmarker Racing, as well as our Instagram. It's at Backmarker Racing. You can find those links in the description down below if you don't want to have to type all that in. But always just make sure you look for the big orange B. That is us. And as always, want to give a big thank you to our series sponsor, Sly Designs. And as for the ARCA series here, GTCC, big thank you to them for everything that they've done, Nathan Gentry. And as well, want to give a big thank you to SEGA for the sponsorship here tonight for the SEGA Forever 150. SEGA Forever is a growing collection of classic SEGA games that are free to play for iOS and Android mobile devices. To learn more, visit forever.sega.com. That is forever.sega.com. All of the links to our sponsors and where you can find them are all below, so make sure you go check them out and give them some love on our behalf. But as I always say, we love to have you guys here. We look forward to seeing you on Thursday night for the Sly Designs Truck Series race. I've been Rain Braun, signing off here for Steve Loving as well, when I tell you guys goodbye and good night.